So here we go, Garden 2024. Here are all the plants that I've started. Started these a couple months ago, and they've been hardened off outside. You can see a little bit tall and skinny looking there and stuff, but that's the way my plants usually are. And I'm getting ready to start putting them in the garden. Beautiful flower my wife got for Mother's Day, and you can see her peony bushes out here are actually getting ready to break open and blooms in a couple days. There's my old John Deere tractor. I'm trying to sell now to replace that thing. And let's go down to the garden and take a look around. You can see I've been working on getting it cleaned up some, getting it mulched, and there's a lot of the grass I've been picking up with the cyclone rake and getting that area ready and getting the beds ready. It's so nice having all this compost available. Really beautiful compost. That's a couple yards there. So cleaning up the beds, and this bed here I'm starting for the tomatoes, and what I'm doing is I'm just turning them over with a pitchfork and then throwing a couple buckets of that compost in there and mix it in a little bit with the rake, and then time to get ready to plant. Now there are those stakes that I think I cut them about 6 years ago. I couldn't believe that they lasted this long. Just an old ash log that I sliced up, and they're still going strong. I figured they would have rotted in half the time, but just pound them in with that pounder that I made there and get ready. I'm going to put 6 tomato plants in each one of these boxes here. So pretty much all my tomatoes would be outside the garden this year, sitting in these boxes. I'm going to try. And there's my boss in there. She's helping me do some weeding. And back over to these beds. I'm getting ready now. Beds are ready, and I'm going to take this little long shovel I got here. And as always, I've shown you before, try to dig holes as deep as I can to bury as much of the tomato plant as I can. The deeper that you get it, the better chance it has of surviving during a drought with a little bit less watering. So there's the plants. You can see they're pretty long and skinny, but most of them are going underground anyway. At least half to 3/4 of the plants are going to be buried. And some of the roots are root bound, but you can break them up and, just move them around a little bit. And I just rip off the extra leaves that are going to be underground and bury them with everything else. And, that's it. As I've shown you 100 times before, this is how I plant my tomatoes, and pretty much every year I do the same thing. So first one in, and a whole mess more to go now. So that's the first bed. I'm going to put some of those rings around them too to help hold it, and try to tie them up and ring them together. And over here you see I've got some other stuff in already. I've got my marigolds. Those are those giant marigold seeds that I grew years ago. And in here I've got some stuff's coming up, some of the early crops. We'll walk through at the end a little bit and take a better look. But you can see so far everything's been doing pretty good, except for the peas right there. Birds have been pulling them out of the ground again as soon as they start growing. Unbelievable. They pop up and birds come along and eat them. But anyhow, I'm going to pick some bok choy, thinning this out now. We're going to do a little stir fry with dinner tonight. So nice, fresh, tender young bok choy is always a good addition to it. And at this point in time, it really needs to be thinned anyway. So I'll just, start grabbing out every other one. And I'll do several thinnings before it gets large. So just a nice handful for, to mix up for the two of us with some other vegetables. Really beautiful. No bugs or anything this year. And then the radishes, we've been eating them for several weeks now. They're really tender and sweet this year. They grew kind of quick. We've had a lot of rain and strange weather, so I think that helped. We did have some cool. But right now, the heat is settled in. A couple days in the high 80s, so it's pretty hot out there right now. And again, these are a really great treat just to snack on. And they're starting, heat already is starting to push up the stem, so pretty soon they'll be going to seed if I don't pick them anyway. Alright, back out to the beds out there. Again, some more compost, and I can't believe all the snails that are in the compost this year. I've been just digging out, every time I take a bucket full, there's probably 2 or 3 snails in there buried in the compost pile for some reason. But anyhow, this stuff is like rocket fuel for plants. It really does help them grow, and it's the only way you're going to keep, raised beds healthy is to just keep adding compost to them. And again, I'm going to repeat the same thing over and over and over again until I get all the stakes in the ground and all the tomatoes in. Yeah, you can see beautiful sunny day we've got here. I've been struggling to get this video out the last couple of days. My computer messed up the video program that I was using. So I'm trying to learn DaVinci Resolve right now. I'm switching over from that Corel Video Studio because it's no longer supported. So this has been a struggle, and it may not be the best quality in the world, but hopefully over time I'll learn to use this and, it'll get easier. But anyhow, back to the garden. Again, you can see that the really tall, skinny tomato plants. I never grow short, fat ones for some reason. Probably not enough light. I keep the lights turned down a little bit. But anyhow, you're going to bury the bottom of them anyway. In a couple of days, they'll be nice. They'll be beautiful plants. So nice having these raised beds to keep everything separated in and planted in, and makes cleanup so much easier. Hopefully everybody else out there is, getting a chance to get some plants in now. I'm a couple weeks early this year, actually, but looks like the weather is going to be quite warm for the next couple of weeks, so no worrying. There's some strawberry plants. I had pulled them out last year, but more came back, so I'm going to move some of them, and the other bed I'm just going to leave until I pick the strawberries to start the tomatoes in those beds. And again, back to another bed. Start by flipping it over with a pitchfork, and then go back and add the compost to it. It's nice once you get a good compost pile started. You pretty much always have nice fertilizer to use. And more maters and more skinny tomatoes, and hopefully they'll be good. I'm trying a couple new, I think it was a Korean long, and there's one other one that I'm trying variety this year. We'll see how they do. I showed them back when I started the plants in that video. But again, just try to bury them deep. Some people just lay them down horizontally too and bury them like that. Just get what you can underground, because the stems do grow roots on them, and they help them survive in a drought. Alright, so let's just kind of look around. It's getting hot out here, so I'm going to take a break. But you can see I'm getting going out there and starting to get some of the beds together in here too. Now, here's one thing that happens every once in a while is I've got a skunk, I think, that comes out and digs in my beds after I plant them and when things start growing. And you can see in there too, and rips up my seeds. So that's been a problem lately too. And again, there she is getting ready to go up and start making some dinner up there with it. Just beautiful, beautiful greens. So now I'm going to move inside here and do a little bit of work in here and start getting the these are going to be the eggplants. 2 beds of eggplants. Our favorites, the Rosa Biancas again. They are just an amazing eggplant. They never get bitter. They stay sweet. They freeze. Oh God, they freeze just like they're fresh when you throw them in the air fryer. And again, turn over the bed and then start mixing in some compost. Couple buckets of that in each bed, and we'll see how it does over time. So I'm going to put a marigold in the middle to hopefully help with bugs, but if you watch to the end, you'll see it didn't. I don't know what it is, but these flea beetles that I get, I mean, within an hour, they were loaded on the eggplants I just put in. So, but anyhow, I'm using some of those fiberglass stakes that I bought last year. These are those electric fence stakes for poles, and they actually do work pretty good too. And that little garden caddy that I made there with the string on it's been really handy. I love having that string with the cutter. You can just pull it off and, tie things up immediately. And then let's start putting the eggplants in, and they're beautiful plants again. I always have really good luck with these Rosa Biancas, and as long as I can save them from the flea beetles, I'll have good eggplants. And again, they just get buried in a hole, and I'm going to put five of them in each bed here around the that center marigold. That is one of the seeds from those giant ones that I grew a couple of years ago, so we'll see how they do. And again, just kind of break up the roots a little bit, spread them out so that they, don't just grow in a circle underground. They spread out as they grow. So there's one of the eggplant beds, and then I'm going to switch over and do the second one there. So there it is. Eggplants are in. There's the first bed. And I got out my little pink flamingos, hopefully to scare some animals off. And now let's move up a little bit and get some peppers in. Peppers are one of my favorite. This bed here is going to have the Ajavarskis that hopefully they do well. I've seemed to have come up with a great copy of them from my seeds. Things have changed a little bit. They interpollinate and cross-pollinate over years. But I think I've got them down now, so I'm getting really big, juicy red peppers for, just doing roasting and freezing and stuff like that. So again, same thing. I'm putting some sticks in the ground and put the little peppers in there and put a little piece of string around them just to hold them. We've got some really high winds coming. Actually, today we had them for a little while. We were supposed to have really severe thunderstorms, but they just broke up and went around us. We got lucky. But anyhow, you always want to tie up these small plants because they will break right off with the wind. So there's a bed full of peppers there. And oh yeah, I actually named Slowpoke. I put some graphics on the side of that. Finally got around to that. So there, that one bed there, I'm waiting for the strawberries to pick, and then I'll put tomatoes in, and you can see pretty much all the rest of these are in, and I've got a big mess over there on the left hand to finish cleaning up, but that's a whole nother job. I want to get everything started first. And everything's, coming along good now. It looks like this is the official start of garden season 2024. And I love that rock that I lasered last year. It just stayed so nice, and real happy with it. I've got to make a couple more of them. All right, let's go in the garden. There's some carrots in the bed. There's those strawberries I moved in. Eggplants, you can see I had to put a 5% 7 dust on them because the flea beetles moved in immediately. Same with the potatoes. Once I put dust on the eggplants, the flea beetles moved to the potatoes. And here's a couple peppers going down the row. There's some gherkin cucumbers coming up there. Another little bed of potatoes and some beets in the corner. And there's some more little cucumbers, pickling cucumbers, a couple peppers, and these are the Black Panther edamames, and then the shallots are doing really good. And I have the hardneck and the softneck garlic, which is doing amazing. That mild winter we had really seemed to help the garlic along. And there's my peas that are being pulled by the birds, so they're not going to be any peas this year. But we're starting to eat some lettuce, thin it out, and some radishes, and some bok choy, and spinach is ready to start thinning too, so that's this week's spinach salad. And then the Alyssa Craig onions are doing really good. They're finally starting to pick up and look like real onions. And a couple more beds to go, but I just wanted to show you exactly where I'm sitting right now, and hopefully everybody else out there is getting their garden going, so I figured I'd just do an update. And you know, it looks like weather's broken now, and hopefully I'll get some more videos out, and I'll figure out how to use this darn program so I can put them together pretty easy. But that's, you know, that's pretty much what everything looks like now, and I just love these raised beds, and you know, just using them so much easier on me. And I do have to get some fresh mulch for in there, but you know, everything looks really good. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.